Looking at a lot of the people out there think we're in a recession, and let's just be honest. Like, people say like, "Hey, we're in a." I think it's the psychological impact that people have on their mind that think that we're in a recession, right? It's because the word hasn't come out from, like, say, government or news as much as people
They just keep changing the name.
Exactly, but they're looking at it going, okay, well, we see that there's declines. We see that the market, or not just the market, but inflation's higher. We also see that people are thinking things are slowing down, yet we don't see unemployment yet. But a lot of people, even though it's not coming out here saying this is recession is starting to head that direction. Do you feel that a lot of buyers out there want to buy, but they're worried that we are headed for a recession?
It really just comes down to education, right? Because everyone can turn on the news and everything is doom and gloom, right? So with all of my clients that I work with, we always sit down, I go over all of the details, what the market's doing, what we're capable of, what we should actually do. I set them up for success, right? So look, we use all of those variables to our advantage, right? So yeah, great, we are in a recession. Do you want to have the highest priced home in the market, or do you want to get rid of it? What's your scenario, right? Do you want to sell, or do you need to sell, right? Most people in this market are like, oh my God. So it's actually reversed, right? Because people had the fear of loss. They were panicking because they didn't think they could get a home that they could afford.
Rates are going up.
Right. Rates are going up. There's no inventory. There's 2,500 homes in the market. Let's just submit a blind bid. I'll see it during my inspection period, right? Now it's the sellers. They're like freaking out because now we have 7,000, 7,500 homes on the market. They're like, oh my God, if this guy drops the price before me, I'm screwed, right? So now they're more willing to negotiate, right? So
it's just, you have options now. I think that's what people didn't have before. And you're saying there's the best time to buy is because, rates are still high, but you have options, maybe options you didn't have before. So you have buyers out there with all these homes that's on the market. When do you see this market shifting where there's going to be that balance? Or do you not see that in the next, let's say, next?
I mean, we have a lot of inventory to absorb. Right. So once rates stabilize, and look, 5.75%, is it high? Do you think it's high?
It's all relative.
It's all relative.
I think in the 70s it was a whole lot higher, wasn't
right?
it?
Prices were a little bit less, but again, it's all relative, right? Yeah. So it's whatever you can afford, basically, right? But 5.75, what's that going to push you at? You're going to push at a comfortable.
Like $7,000 a month. No, I'm just saying.
But you're looking at like $2,500, $3,000 a month, right? If you go rent a 2-bedroom apartment here in something that's in a newer community, you're gonna be paying $2,500, $2,800 a month.
I agree. And I had this conversation. It's really about, if you need to buy a house, it's shelter. You need to buy a house. I mean, it's not really. You don't want to buy at the peak. You don't want to buy at higher rates, and I think that's why everybody was doing that. But you get to a point where it's like, well, I got to bypass that because my family needs a place to live. I need a destination, and guess what? It's just like rent. I know people that have rent going up $100, $200 every time that they get renewed. And it's like, what did you start with? Oh, I started with $500, it's up $500 and it's going to continue even in this market, right? I mean, rent follows the housing market for the most part. So why not buy a house? I'm not saying go out and buy today and it's the best time. We're not trying to be, but I get your side of it. It's like, you have opportunity now. You have options.
Yeah. So, I mean, going through multiple markets, I've been doing this since early 2005 and being in multiple markets through South Florida and Miami and here in Las Vegas and watching the fluctuations in prices and different scenarios. This is, in my experience, the best time to buy because people are in a position to where they are, I wouldn't say the sellers are maybe desperate, but they start getting scared of, oh my God, my house is going to stay on the market for 60, 90 days. It's not going to be sold in 2 days. What if my neighbor sells lower than me? That's going to bring down the comps. Yeah. And it's like, it's catching a falling knife. So people are more willing to help buy down the rates, give closing costs, things like that. And I'm telling you, like 60 days ago, people were like, wait, you're going to offer me list price?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good starting point.
Right. It's like, it's not even entertain it, right?
If and now I'm getting a house is $100,000 less